Greetings, everybody. How you doing? This is KIN114, and for this course, I think it's important for me to touch on and have you guys understand some basic guideposts. Um, this is definitely going to be a more coached environment. There is some educational stuff that's going to go into this, no doubt, because we have to have some academic rigor to this course because it is an actual college course. But this is going to also have a pretty sizable coaching component. And I think you need to understand the expectation of this going in. I think these basic guideposts will definitely help you with that process. So with this class, you know, I'm very much expecting to run this like a strength conditioning program as if I were in college. I've done that. I've coached in the Pac-10 at University of Arizona. I've coached in the Sun Conference, which I coached at Austin Peay as a head coach. And I also coached at UW Whitewater for a couple of years. And I can't stress this enough. Once you get away from here, or even while you are here, I hope your coaches are holding you to this. It's a simple saying that you find with athletes and coaches, man. I'm telling you, early is on time and on time is late. So please be here and get here a couple minutes early. We're going into this fall to winter season. Weather's going to change. It's going to get cruddy out. You're going to have to change from your Uggs or whatever boots you're going to be wearing into your workout wear. Allocate some time. The key component to this class, every single time you come in, we're starting off with running technique. That sets the foundation for a number of and translates to a series of different drills. And to that end, I need you to be here and be on time. And it even would help if you kind of got here and maybe moved around a little bit and kind of warmed up a little bit before we got going. But please allocate time to get yourself ready before the start time at 2 o'clock. Also, because of the size of a class, there's going to be groups. I'm going to have to group some people up here. We're going to have to do like 2 groups, maybe 3 groups, just because of space. And I think this is going to work out well because we'll have the ability to have some people do a drill, other people recover from a drill, and other people watch a drill. It'll be kind of like an ABC, and we'll just kind of rotate through. That's kind of what I'm envisioning. I want to see how this plays out during the first session or two to see where this goes, but that's kind of my vision. So, you might be partnered up with other people, and not being here on time is really going to mess some things up for everybody else. So please be here on time. This is something I also can't stress enough. You've made the decision to go to college. By making the decision to go to college, you're sending me, your coach, your instructor, your professor, adjunct professor, the very implicit message that you desire to be better. You just didn't want to graduate high school, stop there, and that's the end of your story. You wanted to grow, you wanted to develop, you wanted to get better. It's not to say that you were bad before, it's just that you wanted to grow and develop and build upon what you have and what you're bringing to the table. It's a very natural progression in life to want that. And also the fact that many of you are participating in a sport, although there might be a couple that are just taking this class to fill a credit, you also are willing to make the investment in your own self to be better as an athlete. And as a student athlete, I can't stress this enough, how those two dovetail together, how the fingertips go together on that, and they tie together because one begets the other. It provides the discipline, the focus, and everything you need to help become a better student and vice versa. And this requires a little bit of, for some of us, we're task-oriented. For others, we're process-oriented. But, you're looking at kind of this task mastery process-oriented process that I'm going to be putting in as a coach. And the coaching process will require you to refine your movements and refine your skills and transfer your skills as we go through these drills. So it's not like you just show up, do your drills, and go home. No. I want you to be an active participant in all this. And I ask you to be here and be present in the moment and ready. I've talked with other student athletes and people who've come through Harper, just kind of talking with them in general. For some of them, they've come from like Indiana to wrestle here. They're living in an apartment with 3 other guys, and it has its challenges to it, trying to get here, et cetera. And I get that. I was a student athlete over here at Harper, and I get that lifestyle. I understand it completely. But I want you to understand that also, just by the mere fact that you've decided to go to college and you've decided to participate in a sport, you have different opportunities that are present to you. And I urge you to leverage that process. I urge you to step on your little gas pedal, not in your car, but in yourself, and see how far you can go. See how well you can do academically. See how much of an athlete you can actually be. And put those two together and see what kind of student athlete you can become. So I urge you just not to show up, shut up, and wear beige. You know, I want you to be an active participant, and I want you to get better. Don't be average. You're going to hear me say that 1,000 times. We're going through this over the next 8 weeks. Do not strive for average. Now, my feedback style, you know, you're going to get very straight feedback from me, and I have to provide that as a coach to give you that feedback in terms of running technique, speed, agility, quickness, how you're applying force into the ground, how you can get better as an athlete. I am definitely a positive reinforcement style when it comes to coaching. I am not a dictator kind of person where I beat down on my people. You're going to get negative feedback from me. That's just part of coaching. But you're going to get negative and positive, negative and positive. And I try to make it, I make it a point. Actually, I not try to, I make it a point to balance it out. But you know, if you're slacking, or if I think you got more gas in the tank, you're going to hear from me. I'll yell at you across the gym and say, you know, I think you got more gas in the tank. Do it again. And it's because I know I do this, other coaches do this. It's because we see more in you than you're giving at that moment, and we call you out on it. And that's part of the relationship we have as an athlete and a coach, or a student and an instructor. That's our role, to do that with you. So please expect that. And you know, this process includes, like with me, taking you through drills, explaining to you, and this is what I'm envisioning for this course, explaining to you how these drills work, and then showing you how to refine your movement patterns. So quite frankly, you'll have a better understanding of what you are capable of at this moment. And then as we refine those movement patterns and refine your ability to go through these different drills, you blow everything completely out of the water, and you just blow past where you once were before, and you're a far better athlete than you were. And I've done this 1,000 times. I've coached it in college. I've also coached in fitness settings and wellness settings with students who've come in who are athletes, and I've worked with them one-on-one. I'm telling you, this is a process that'll work for you guys. You just need to buy into the process and just enjoy the moment, and you know, kind of enjoy the fact that as we do drills, you might wipe out, but that's part of you learning where your capabilities are. So the other part of this is this. I'm not a coach per se. I'll be your instructor, but I definitely operate with kind of a coach mindset. And you can understand, or you have to understand, that I provide another touch factor for each one of you. So here you are, you're in this process, you're trying to go through Harper to go on to somewhere else, and you have a whole support system of people here trying to help you out, right? And I am part of that process. And you can fully expect that I'm going to ask you, how are classes? How are your assignments? Hey, have you reached out to your instructor? You know, reach out to your professor, see if you can get a couple points on that one homework assignment that you're missing, because that might be the couple points that gets you the scholarship, right? And that equates to real money. So you can bet I'm also going to ask you about that. So don't be surprised if I just kind of come up to you and ask you, hey, are your assignments in? You get everything done this week? How are classes going? Because that's going to be part of the process, guys. That's part of the stewardship that we provide over here in this department. All right. We have the opportunity between myself and other individuals. We have plenty of back talk and communication with one another. Do not operate with the idea that your coach and I do not talk. And please don't operate with the idea that Paige and I do not communicate. You know, I sent her a shared document just last night stating, if you have anybody who might not be able to participate because of an injury, let me know, and I'll adapt accordingly. So to show up and just tell me Paige said I need to stay out is just not going to be good enough. You're going to have to actually have some kind of formal communication between she and I, all right? And then beyond that, when you start talking about injuries, et cetera, and I'll talk more in another presentation, if you do have a bona fide injury, then yeah, we need to take you over to Paige, and we're going to have to go ahead and have that conversation on how we can utilize your skills in the class so you can continue to be a part of the class. Just because maybe you're injured or you're nicked up or something doesn't mean you have to sit out and just watch. I want you to be involved in some capacity, all right? Also, as I mentioned with having another touch point, here I am, right? I mean, you may have issues that come up. Like I said, I've been through this whole thing with the Harper lifestyle and a commuter lifestyle. You might have some kind of physical issue, an injury, you might have some issue with a class, maybe your family at home. I've had students where, a relative is not well, they had to go home. You might have something going on with a roommate, whatever it is, and I'm going to stress this a lot. You don't have to suffer in silence now. I mean, you can confide that in me. I can send out a starfish to your orbit of people that are, trying to support you here, whether your instructors or your counselors, whatever it may be. But there's a network here to support you. So make sure you just don't sit around and suffer in silence. You articulate what's going on and advocate for yourself. All right, guys? So to that end, I'm going to shut this one off and go ahead and film another one for you. But those are the kind of the guideposts and touchstones that I'm looking for this course. And I think if you guys follow those and just understand those basic little principles, you're going to do great. With that, guys, I'm signing off. Thanks.